Yo, I grabbed that roach with my hands, yo, off the wall. Bro, I grabbed it with my hands off the wall and I squished it in my hands, yo. Yo.
Thank you for you guys who are attending. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you just for listening to us.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah. God didn't create meat. God created animals.
It sounds so simple, but like it's so much like magnitude to it. You know, it's a whole living
being.
Exactly.
Unconditional love. Agape is what I have. It's the love that transcends all.
Rigorously meditating at 5:55 every day. When I first started to leave religion, I was just like, okay, I wanted to connect with the source that was allowing all this to happen.
And back to the fact that the richest country that came here, that should let you know what this place is. You've never seen more Teslas than St. Louis. I've been to California. I've been to New York. I've been to Qatar.
So you feel like there's more Teslas?
No, I know that this place has the oldest money there is.
Yeah, I'm not about to walk around here with that staff in my hand. Yo, it's people out here.
Real quick, I did want to talk about y'all drip, staff, and the rings, what it all means to you.
A lot of people need intellects. There's been a war on intellect. Everybody wants to be educated. We are intellects, and we have knowledge that's not from this place.
He turned around, he's like, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and vacuum my office, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just trying to be like, yes, master, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I knew that was like my last night there at that job.
We were born naked, and these things are illusion.
It's just crazy, bro, because the conditioning is so strong, like you said, as y'all were growing up together. He didn't have it as heavily embedded versus you because the timing of it all.
So they like fly with each.
You said flew?
Yeah. I tried to scoot past it.
You're like, y'all already fast for the ground. When you start flying, you went a whole other year.
I can kind of stump you, you know what I mean? When you're flying, I gotta, jeez.
That's why they were given the arch to the west, which is really just the gateway to Atlantis.
Make sure this recording. At that part of the show, I'm like, this is getting pretty dark. You know?
Yeah.
You actually gonna do it? You gonna do it?
There's all types of stuff happening in St. Louis.
Yeah.
This is happening.
And that's right. And that's
why they're so called a cloud. Because the individuals really understand how powerful this space, St. Louis, is a place where energy from higher dimensions are being born. The work that you're doing is major. Who you are is major. There's maps of Egypt. There's been maps placed up against St. Louis. The Nile is the exact space that Mississippi is in. This place right here in particular is in the middle of America. Why are individuals like Yaki and 19 Keys being born here? Why are individuals like myself and my brother and you, why are we here in particular? And so you have to question yourself, because I know what I am. I know how powerful I am. I know what we came here to do. Sorry, I know what I'm in. Where am I at? St. Louis is powerful, and we came to really take back. It's rightfully everyone's. Freedom is everyone's. Liberty is everyone's. And it starts in here. It starts with food. Once we take back our minds with food, nobody can control our mind.
I'm happy that I'm able to be around y'all, have like-minded people around.
We're building legacy, bro. It might look small, but it's huge, yo. What you're doing is part of the web of life. I mean, everything that you touch, bro, is affecting the Akashic record.
What's up, everybody? First off, this is the very first Cozy Talk. I was telling different people, like, it's not gonna be like a podcast. It's not like the typical type of conversation, but like where we can elevate, you know, and grow, just having conversations and getting to the point of everything. So I'm gonna have them introduce themselves because they know themselves the best, you know, so it's an honor. I'm happy they're here, and we're just gonna dive in. So further ado,
Gratitude, man.
I appreciate y'all being here for real.
Gratitude. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you for you guys who are attending. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you just for listening to us. Because I'm my mama's baby. I might look like what I look like. I might do the things that I do in society, but I'm my mama's baby. My name is Yashuwa. Yashuwa, yes, Yashuwa. And amongst many things, I am a multi-dimensional being having a human experience, and it's a pleasure to build with you, brother. It's a pleasure to really be in our purpose in these bodies. So yeah, I'm a shaman. I'm a chef, a plant-based chef.
Yes, sir.
I eat to live.
Yes, sir.
And I want to remind other people how powerful knowing thyself is. I learned that through eating. I learned to control my emotions, to control my dick, to control my brain by eating and by fasting and putting my feet in the grass, you know? And so those will be the things that we speak about. We'll be speaking about gaining knowledge of self so we can move correctly in our spaceship. So, and that's what I bring. That's my mission. That's my my piece to add to the world. You know?
Yes, sir.
My name is Ezekiel. I am here to share ways to break free of the matrix, and one of the significant ways that I see to do that is for me to remind myself daily, and also to remind others that we are all actually God having a human experience. And so as that information started to permeate my mind, that started to become my reality, I realized that these were the keys that I was looking for, searching for all along when it came to being in religion and being faithful to Christianity per se. I was trying to unlock this unconditional love for people, and I kept falling short of that, and would get down on myself. And so once I had the revelation that, okay, they're actually talking about us, that we are all the Christ, we are all source having a human experience, ascending like the Christ figure did, that was the key to actually loving myself, and that unlocked the key to loving other people and seeing other people for who they really are. So we're here to spread that joy, spread that love that came with that, spread that truth as well.
Hey, powerful introductions.
Gratitude.
Hey, I resonate with all that.
Gratitude.
So, when I was listening to you, I'm like, we in the right space. I'm with the right people. You know.
Yeah.
So I accept all that. So let's start off with when do we meet? That was probably like 2000. We was last year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah.
So was it because it was cold?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's probably
like
going into the fall.
yeah.
Yeah. Because we were outside of Viva doing tacos from about September to the end of October.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe like a week or two in November, but it was starting to get a little chilly out that day.
Right. So okay. This is a funny backstory. So with my brothers that I was with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were leaving Viva, going to our cars, and I guess they saw y'all, and they were like, "What are they doing? Are they just like keeping warm?" And I look, I'm like, "Oh no, they cooking food. You know, like people do that probably like New York and stuff, and you know, I guess they ain't never seen nothing like it. So they're like, nah, they just keep them warm." I'm like, bro, I can bet money that they're probably keeping warm, but also, you know, making food.
Yeah.
So they didn't believe me. We walked over there, and it was a blessing, you know what I'm saying? Because I got to connect with y'all and deal with y'all. So, and we are here, we are now. And it was, you know, that's how the backstory.
Yeah. Not a lot of people are used to here in St. Louis. We're here in St. Louis,
especially in that area.
Yeah, they're not used to seeing people just do their thing on the street. You know what I'm saying? They're looking for more conventional restaurants and things like that. So, but traveling the world a little bit, being in California and seeing what they do in New York and other countries. In some of the countries in the Middle East, there's always street vendors. There's always people, you know, selling their products. And so, people need to eat to live, And so we are very forceful when it comes to that. We are very unapologetic when it comes to sharing that knowledge. We try to find every nick and cranny we can find to put the right foods out there that comes with the information, you know. So, Yeah, I mean that's an interesting story.
And so you are from St. Louis, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Where are you from?
We are from me personally. I'm from the moon.
Okay, for sure.
But my body was born in Florida. We were born there. Proud to say, West Palm Beach is the area. But I just moved to St. Louis about 3 years ago now.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to work for Boeing when I came here, and just more and more series of awakenings. I quit my job, and then I decided to come back to St. Louis and build and heal and build some more. You know.
Okay. And what about you?
Same. I was born in Florida as well, and joined Job Corps in 2005. No, sorry, 2014 going into 2015, and from there I ended up living in Kentucky, going to school there, going to community college, then moved to Illinois from there. Stayed, I was up there for about 6 years, in Kentucky for 1 year. And when my baby was born, when I had my daughter in 2022, she was a catalyst to my awakening.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was already I was already having questions about the reality of the Christianity and how I grew up, and when she was born, I just realized that we had come from a divine place already. You know, that we weren't like sinners trying to come here and figure out how to get better. You know, how to be righteous or something like that. We actually just came and stepped down from from our divinity into the body. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, just having a baby, seeing the process of having a baby, holding her. Answered so many questions, and I was just like, okay, yeah, there's no way, there's more than what this book is telling me.
So you fresh into fatherhood.
Yeah, man, yeah, for sure.
And congrats on that.
Yeah, gratitude, man.
What about you?
I have a young boy.
Okay, yeah. Hey, power to y'all.
Gratitude.
Power to y'all. Fatherhood is definitely important, especially with us.
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask, when you was talking about y'all different awakenings, maybe if you could start back, like you was bringing up religion, Christianity, how y'all started from A to where we are now, the journey, you know?
And so,
if you know.
No worries. Just a little bit about me. Just coming from a Christian background, in Florida, it's very, very Southern Baptist and Protestant and evangelical, whatever. Pentecostal. Yeah, very strict places when it comes to religion, and but because of my generation, so I have. There's 11 of us, and I'm at the end of each generation. So my parents pretty much had a child in almost every generation.
Wow.
From the 80s, or excuse me, from the 70s until 2000. I have a younger brother that was born in 2000, and so, but by the time it got to me, things were shifting in our life. Our father had left our life, and so religion wasn't as deeply embedded into me as it was my older siblings, like Ezekiel. But it was still there, you know. So, yeah, going to the military when I was about 17 or 18, and seeing life, really experiencing all types of individuals from different backgrounds and things like that. And truly, when I was in the military and I smoked cannabis for the first time, it shifted my reality, because I was already questioning, you know, why I had made the decisions that I had made. Was it based on something that I wanted to do, or was it based on something that someone else was telling me to do? And so the first time I hit the cannabis, it shifted my reality in a real way while I was in the military. And so, I started awakening, asking myself, like, yo, what am I? Really? Because I had heard Muhammad Ali saying, I don't got no quarrels with no Viet Cong. I've been heard him say that. I've been seeing Malcolm, right? And so, I just started questioning more and more. And then eventually I got out of the military. Very shortly after that, about 2 years after that, I got out of the military and I started traveling the world. And then I moved to Alaska, and that really accelerated my awakening.
Alaska.
Yeah.
How long was you out there?
About a year and a half.
Okay.
About a year and a half, 2 years.
When a lot of people hear about Alaska, they be like, oh, it's so cold there. But recently I heard
No, it's one of the hottest states in America. It's probably the hottest state in America. The ground just catches on fire in the summer because of the tundra and because it gets so hot there. So we have crazy forest fires. And the sun doesn't go down on a particular space in time over there. And so it's always hot, like extremely hot at all times. At 3 a.m. it's hot,
What part of Alaska?
I lived in the North Pole, in the North Pole.
In the North Pole.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. But being in that environment, I know obviously being in that type of energy when it comes to the sun and the moon, that accelerated my awakening. I started learning about who Alan Watts was, and so questions were being answered when he was speaking about like the nature of our being and the nature of God. And him in particular, he speaks about God being a black woman.
Right.
So the black feminine, I should say. And so, and so after that, I went to Hawaii and had a profound experience. And this is before even health. I was awakening to different things. But then in Hawaii, I met a shaman named Elijah. We took psychedelic psilocybin, and that obviously shifted me to a different level at that point, and where I'm getting clarity now on the questions that I'm asking about what am I, when I'm seeing myself for the first time, really. And the journey didn't stop there. I got a so-called dis-ease, a sexual transmitted dis-ease. And then I accelerated my journey because I had already known about Dr. Sebi. And that pushed me even further. But I wasn't done.
Right.
And so still in the matrix and in my ego, I moved and from place to place. And then eventually I came here because of Boeing. I used to work at Boeing, training people and flying airplanes and things. Here in St. Louis, it just, I started questioning myself again because I had already gone through these series of awakenings. And now that my body was so-called dis-ease, I have more questions. But I forgot myself, forgot who I was. I was doing coke, down bad. And then someone found me, and he's like, yo, have this. And he gave me a mushroom. And that gave me that push that I needed. It was that breakthrough. All the answers that I was looking for, I spoke it into the psilocybin, and I got those answers on what herbs to take for my body and what type of limit I should be on. And quit your job, and this is why I did this to you, because your name is Yashuwa. So I got, it's wild, man. I have this tattoo. It's Galatians 22. Okay. It's 2:20. I am crucified in the Christ, which is the ideal, and this life I live it's no longer mine, but the one in me is living through. Verbatim, this is what this verse says. And I've had this tattoo for a long time.
Wow.
But on the particular day where I realized who I was truly and what path I needed to get my ass on, this song by Kodak Black, I was in my trip at this point, and I couldn't hear much, because when you're there, things are distorted. You're hearing like light codes. But I heard this one song in particular. It said, "You don't even believe in Jesus. Why you got a Jesus piece?"
So what were you like when you heard that? You were like,
"You're right.
yeah,
I don't believe in Jesus. Well, I got this Jesus piece." All right, so something is trying to let me know, me, the soul, who I really am.
yeah,
Jesus. Yashuwa is what my mother named me. Okay. But I wasn't listening. I might have heard, but I wasn't listening.
yeah,
And so when I started listening, that changed my reality. I started to change my life with thought form, with practice, with meditation, with eating to live. So yeah, and so I went to the Middle East, and I just had a calling to come back and really go after my healing, and which includes more than just healing the body. It includes healing the wounded ego, and not killing it, but healing that ego. It involves healing mentally and spiritually as well. So I came back to this place of all places to do that, and it's been a beautiful journey, uphill battles, but beautiful, because life is
such is life. Yeah.
Sheesh.
That's an amazing story, man.
Gratitude.
I'm told that I'm real soft-spoken and everything, so when I'm in these situations, I make sure that I'm projecting myself, and so make sure I'm being heard or whatever. But I normally don't like to do that.
Yeah. I tell people I just talk so low because I want them to listen to what I'm saying. They're actually now able to engage. Their heart is open because they're not having too many thoughts, except for just trying to listen to what I'm saying. So now their heart is open to listening, and they don't even know that. But it's now open to just listening, as opposed to just trying to hear what I'm saying and then going back to what you're doing, right?
See, that's a good point. Now I can put that on somebody else next time they say something.
No, seriously, you're doing it for a reason. Your soul knows what's up. You want people to understand you. I'm a Cancer, so I'm about the feeling. I'm a water sign. I want people to feel me. So when I'm looking at you, I want you to feel my energy. I want you to hear and listen to what I'm saying. You know? And so you should be soft-spoken sometimes. For sure, man.
So I want to touch back on one thing you said when we were talking about the ego, but I want him to do his introduction as well, like your journey up until now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, gratitude, man. Mine really kicked off around George Floyd's death, or so-called death. And so that's when I really started to, actually, honestly, Amanda is her name, the wife I had at the time. She was really distraught by everything that she was seeing in the media and stuff like that. I wasn't really paying it no mind, to be honest with you, bro. We just moved to this house, and I had other things on my mind than what was going on with George Floyd and stuff like that, right? But because she kept bringing it up, I was like, maybe I should look into this, because I don't even know what's going on, And when I did, I saw like a lot of people were talking about it, including the church that I was going to. I asked the pastor, I was like, I think we should talk about this. Everybody's obviously talking about it. It's all over the city and the news and stuff. Maybe we should have like an open discussion, because the tension was obviously there, And when he told me that he didn't feel like this was the right setting, the right place to have that conversation, then I stopped going to the church. And then just started to like question a lot, a lot of not only what people were saying, but what like the scripture was saying. And so I just kind of sat with the questions, and around that same time, my wife at the time found out that she was pregnant, and so then that added on the extra layer of like, all right, so what are you going to teach her? You have all these questions, you're questioning your beliefs, your religions yourself, you know what I mean? Like, what are you going to teach her, you know? And so that just sent me into even deeper to like this like the stress mode. And then around that time, Yashuwa and I we were on the phone a lot. I was just bringing up these questions that I had to him, and he introduced me to Alan Watts. And when I got plugged into Alan Watts, a lot of the things started to make sense as to people's behavior and how all the religions were basically saying the same thing. That was one of the biggest takeaways from Alan Watts, was that all the religions are pretty much saying the same thing in their own way. And so, excuse me.
Are you fine? Need some myself.
Yeah, gratitude. Listening to Alan Watts, started to do a bunch of research myself about the history of this so-called America, history of different countries around the world, so-called Africa, and I started to realize, oh, okay, this is how they're getting this and this and this, and all these religions are basically leading all back to what the Egyptians had discovered, and even back further than that to what tribal communities, people that look like us, people that don't look like us, all these tribal communities were realizing that there was just a source animating everything. So once I landed there, and that was the second time I had landed there, earlier on when I was a teenager, I came to that place as well because I had a lot of questions, and ended up getting back into religion, but I had learned this word called animism, if I'm not mistaken. And so that's the belief that every single thing has a soul or spirit, from the trees to the bugs to the wind itself, the air and stuff. And so so the second time I heard that, it resonated deeper with, okay, that now I can see that, because I had learned more and had more experiences in Christianity that I knew I couldn't just let go, you know what I mean? Because I had seen people being healed, I seen like miracles happen, people going to the doctors and having cancer, or like coming to church, you know, and sad that they have cancer, and then we pray for them, and then go to the doctor, and then the cancer is gone. So I was like, okay, even though this is something that's based off like occult knowledge, there's also still some truth to this as well, because I know what I saw, you know what I mean? And so as I again just started to, I think for some reason I started to realize that I didn't love myself, and I think my daughter was the catalyst to that. You see your phone chime right when I said that, right? Yeah. So she was the catalyst. Yeah. She was the catalyst to me realizing that I didn't love myself. You know what I mean? Because I started to have all this love for her, and something inside of me was like, you don't share that same love for yourself. You know. And at that point I was kind of like overwhelmed. I was even seeing a psychologist. This was like 2020, coming out of 2020 going into 21. And my daughter was born in 21, not 22, if I said that earlier. Okay. And so I even went to see a psychologist. You know, we did doing one-on-one sessions and stuff. And that was helpful, because he actually helped me to find my own opinion versus other people's voices and ideas, you know what I mean, of what other people thought about me and what I should do. Christianity is definitely like it's like, it can be like a virus if you don't go in it with your eyes open, like just to learn. If you go in it believing everything that you're reading, it becomes like a virus to your system, and you have to unlearn in various ways, you know what I mean, to reprogram yourself back to your true identity, and start to understand Christianity instead of understanding it, you know.
Yeah.
And so so that was a process. Again, my daughter just thrust me into this self-love journey, and ended up separating with her mom because we had came to this crossroads, and had been there before, but this time I knew, like, let's just separate, you know. And so that was the day before we separated. Actually, the week before we separated, Kendrick Lamar's album dropped. The last one that he had come out with.
Was it The Heart Part 5?
What is it?
The Heart Part 5.
The Heart Part 5.
Okay. Big Steppers. Okay.
Yeah. So Yashuwa told me about the album. I started listening to it. Man, it was downloads. I had to download every song. I was at work and I was listening to it, bro. And it was just like, just answering, putting like puzzle pieces together in so many ways, you know. And I had realized that I had been like faking for a long time, you know what I mean? Had been lowering my vibration to cater to other people's for a long time. And so his words, just the music, like, helped me break free of that thing. And so I knew when so the album drops. My buddy who owns a art gallery in Illinois, he throws this album release party. We're there. It's the first time I had stayed up without any drugs, any alcohol, anything. First time I had stayed up without going to sleep, because I don't think the thing really jumped off to about 10 o'clock by the time we got there. So we just stayed up, watched the sunrise, right? And man, that just kind of like shook my reality. And then I'm back to work, like everything's normal, and something was like, you're not supposed to be here, you know? And kid you not, like, I stepped into like the fifth dimensional reality of myself, and like I was like watching myself, because I was a janitor at the school, and I was like almost out of my body, bro, and just watch myself taking out the trash, tying the bag, and then going outside and throwing it in the dumpster, vacuuming, you know what I mean? I was just like watching my body do this stuff. And I was like, holy shit, what am I doing? And right when I was having this experience, this guy who worked in one of the chemistry labs, because that's the building I was cleaning, he's like, oh, I see you. I said, I see you still here, because I was at another building that came back down. And he was like, yeah, I'm still here, I'm still going for this degree. And he's like, I see you still here too, And I was like, yeah, I am. But then that stuck to me. I was like, why am I? Why am I doing this with my body, bro? No. You know what I mean? Yeah.
If people have more moments like that, where they can step out their body, while just like you look down, I think it would be a huge shift.
Yeah, bro.
That's powerful.
No drugs, bro. No drugs included. It was just
no drugs, bro.
I was just like. And again, I'm not saying that like drug, like that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother. No medicinal and anything at the time. I just my soul was just like, this is what it is. And again, I know for sure, just the things that had led up to that moment, that pressure, if you want to say, was actually probably what like helped me to break free of it. You know what I mean? And started to see what I was doing. And a side note, I literally felt myself, because I was in that pattern of like catering to people, lowering my vibration. I literally felt myself lower myself for a professor who didn't even need his room vacuumed, but I was like trying to go over the top, like, bro, I got you. I literally felt energy from my body like go to him, and he was like, nah. He was like, already said no multiple times, and I'm still like, I'll vacuum your, you know what I mean? And when I felt that, he turned around. He's like, you know what? Yeah, go ahead and vacuum my office. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just trying to be like, yes, master. You know what I mean? When I literally felt it leave my body, bro, and he turned around and said, you know what? Clean my office, bro. And when that shit hit me so hard, bro, I was like, what just happened? I just literally did that. Just changed this man's mind about cleaning his office, you know. And that later that night, I knew that was like my last night there at that job. And me and my girl, we were arguing on the phone, telling her like, yo, this is my last night. And the spirit's telling me not to come back here. I know I'm not supposed to be doing this with my hands. I'm supposed to be creating other things with my hands, skills that I already have, welding, carpentry, making jewelry, all these things, and painting, and so we were going back and forth. You know, eventually hang out with her, and I had already locked inside that this is my last night, right? Yo, good job, bro. 24 something dollars an hour. You know what I mean? Like overtime, health insurance, all that shit's covered by the state, all of it. And so I knew, like, but I had already locked in myself that, like, this is my last night. I know it. And I was always afraid of cockroaches, right? I'm not sure a lot of people grew up in the hood. I was always afraid of cockroaches. And I'm walking back to the office. It's the end of the night, and there's a roach, bro, where I've never seen a roach before. I'm talking about a big cockroach, bro. Yo, I walked past it, like, kind of scurried her along, so it didn't, like, fly over me. Yeah. I tried to scoot past it.
It worse when they start flying. You're like, y'all already fast on the ground. When you start flying, you went a whole other year.
Yeah, I can kind of stump you, you know what I mean? But when you're flying, I gotta, sheesh. So I scurried past it, bro, because again, like, afraid of it, right?
Yeah.
Then something said that there's no more fear. There's nothing to fear, you know? Yo, I walked back, bro. Yo, I grabbed that roach with my hands, off the wall, bro. I grabbed it with my hands off the wall, and I squished it in my hands, I squished it in my hands, bro. Yo, I'm talking about, like, run away, screaming, scared, bro. Yo, I grabbed it off the wall, squished it in my hands, bro.
Wow.
And I was like, yo, I'm not afraid of you anymore. Dropped it right there. It's just like, I'm not afraid of you anymore. And now I see that was just like a symbolism of the Matrix itself, like having control over our minds, telling us we have to be here at a certain time and blah blah, instead of you being led by your spirit, right? So that was me, like, breaking free, like, of that fear. And there's levels to it, I see. But that was the level. And I was just like, I'm done.
I want to commend
you. Yo, gratitude, bro.
Yeah,
gratitude.
Commend you on that.
Gratitude,
from both of y'all, but when it comes to that roach part, a lot of people just can't pick up the different bugs and spiders, but you did a roach, and that's a lot of willpower, discipline, like.
I knew it,
like something snapped.
I knew it was. I honestly, bro, if I hadn't done that, I may have not quit. You know what I mean? But it just sent me even that further to, like, now you just did this, you can quit your job. You know what I mean? And so the next day I woke up again. She's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I already told you. I'm going. That was my last night there." And I go in, bro. I'm getting ready to quit my job, and my boss isn't there. She's like 30 minutes. I got there 30 minutes early than the time she got there. And so I leave the office. I go around the campus lake. It's a giant lake. I start to head around the lake, and at this point I'm like anxiety, like ridden. You know what I mean? Like about to have a nervous breakdown type feeling. Mm-hmm. And I step off, because at that point my brother had introduced me into grounding. So I step off the sidewalk, take my sandals off, and I get in the grass and start sun gazing. It's probably like 8:30. It's probably 8:30. She gets there at 9. Take my sandals off, I get in the grass, I start sun gazing, and I feel like some balance coming back. You know what I mean? I feel like some peace of calmness coming back into my body. And so I take my shoes off, I put my sandals back on, I'm getting ready to head around the whole thing, but something said, go back the way that you came, right? So I do that, and not this staff, but as I'm doing that, I pass the way I came, and there's a staff sitting right by the sidewalk, bro. Like right next to the edge of the sidewalk. And I was always kind of picking that stuff up. And whether it fell out of the tree after I walked past there, or whether it was placed there by an angelic being or something like that, I don't know. What I know is I wasn't there before because I don't like pass stuff like that. You know what I mean? And so so it was there, bro. And again, now at this point, like people are starting to walk out, students and people who are up early exercising and stuff like that. And I walked past it, yo, and I was like, yeah, I'm not about to walk around with that staff in my hand, yo. It's people out here. Jeez, yo. It's people out here, yo. And it's like, this is where I work and everything, right? And so I walked past it, bro, and again, like the spirit was like, yo, pick it up, bro. Pick it up. And I already knew that was going to happen, you know what I mean? But I just kind of walked past it anyway. When I heard it, I was just like, okay, I picked it up, and I started carrying it like this, you know what I mean? Instead of upright, right? I started carrying it like this, as if I just like get ready to go throw it away or something. So
Trying to fill it out.
Yeah, right, right. Trying to make myself not look too crazy, because at this point, and especially at this point, when I hear the voice say like, pick up the staff, at that point I was like, yo, I'm fucking losing my mind. Like I'm actually out here like losing my mind and shit. Like walking around out here with a staff, with a stick, and yo, I'm there, like I'm losing my mind, right? That's what I'm telling myself. And I have been saying Grand Rising to my brother. I'm sure you've probably heard that phrase now. A lot of people have, right? And we have been saying that to each other when we get on the phone. And yo, this gentleman is walking towards me, bro. And I kind of, his face seemed familiar, but I didn't remember who he was. Side note, I had met him in the grocery store like 2 months prior to this. Okay. And so he's walking in my direction. I'm just getting ready to pass him, you know. And as we get like shoulder to shoulder, he turns to me, bro, and he says, Grand Rising, my brother. Yo, I just started crying, bro. I started crying, bro. Yo, I feel that shit right now. Yo, I just started crying, because I was just like, yo, you see me. Yo, the spirit sees me, and it's leading me. It's leading me in the direction I'm supposed to be going, and it's just wild. It's uncertain. But like I know, like okay, I'm hearing the voice for real, yo. Yo, when he said that, I just broke down, just started hugging this man. He didn't know what the hell was going on. It's just like hugging this man, you know. Yeah. And so I got the staff, right. Go into the office. I quit my job. I go in there and quit my job. She's there. Yo, I get into her office, bro. The lady has a staff in the corner of her room, bro. Yo, she has a staff in the corner of the room. Yeah.
What do you think they're talking about?
I'm just like, now at this point I'm just freaking out. I was just like, yo, I'm quitting I'm telling her I'm retiring. She's way older than me, you know what I mean? And I'm telling her like the spirit just told me to pick the staff up around the lake, and I walk in here and you have a staff. Like these are all confirmations that I'm not supposed to be working here for me, you know. And of course she just thought like I was nuts as well. But that was all enough confirmation for me to be like, okay, yeah, you're on the right track, you know what I mean? And so I separated from my wife that day, and it's just again another side note, bro. When I got back to the house, yo, I FaceTime everybody that would get on the phone. Again, there's 11 of us or 10 of us, and I FaceTime everybody that was on there, yo. And I just said I'm free, but bro, I said like it came from like the depths of me, bro. It's like yo, I'm free, bro. And Yashuwa had space on his couch because my wife was like, you ain't gotta leave, but you gotta get there. She said, you gotta, you know what I mean? Jeez, you gotta go home, but you gotta get there. So Yashuwa had space on his couch, and I've been here in St. Louis for a year and a half now. We've already had like probably like good for worth of 5 years of experiences just in a year here in St. Louis, and I just know that like this is where I'm supposed to be because I've gone through so much evolution just by being in the city. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Hey, well, welcome again.
Yeah, gratitude.
St. Louis. Man, that's powerful for real.
Yeah, got you.
So a few things that I always keep in my head, because both of y'all journeys are different, but kind of similar to mine as well. So you used the word, what was it? It started with A. I think I heard
Animation.
Animation.
Yeah, animism.
Animism.
Animism, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does it mean again?
It means that if I'm saying it correctly, it means that everything has a spiritual aspect to it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you see from the plants, from the air, the insects, everything is aware of itself and has a spiritual purpose.
Yeah, I think I heard that before. And the more we look into things, just like, animation, we just connect the dots, because when I'm big on anime first off, so like when I see stuff like that and different correlations, it's like, especially in the East with the Asians, like most of them know what they be talking about when it comes to spirit, because that's a lot of things be in words. So like to call something anime, like they know what they're doing with that. And then also you said, I wanted you to expand more on the part where you said if we read the Bible just for like to learn, but not to like take it so literal. I feel like that was something big to expand on, because for the listeners to take it in, because everybody, I was a Christian too, just like y'all. Like I was in a Christian household, and I was hardcore. So to the point to where I was like really, you could say brainwashed, you couldn't tell me Jesus was, you know what I'm saying? Right, so if you could expand on a little bit, I think that would be good for
and it's in facts, bro. So I feel you. I feel your dedication to this. So I know how your dedication was to Christianity. You know what I mean? Because we're trying to evolve. Like the soul is trying to evolve, right? We came here to do that. And I was the person that would come up to you. I would go to Walmart just to come and find people and be like, yo, are you saved? You know what I mean? Like that's like, I was like walking through the house like, yo, okay.
Yeah.
You know?
You get to it. Yeah. We were deep, but
yeah.
But also, something else I thought of was, because you said, I don't know the age difference, but the fact that it's just crazy, bro, because the conditioning is so strong, like you said, since, like he was saying, as y'all were growing up together, he didn't have it as heavily embedded versus you, because the timing of it all. It's the same with me,
I'm 24.
Okay.
And he's 10 years old, my elder.
Yeah.
And so, that generation, like the 80s and things like that, where people were awakening but still controlled.
Yeah.
And to expand on the Bible, it's a very, very powerful esoteric tool when you understand that they're talking about you, and there isn't anything outside of you that they're talking about at any point in time. When they're talking about Adam and Eve, they're talking about your thoughts and your feelings. When they're talking about the waters, they're talking about your body. When they're talking about the light, they're talking about your soul, right? And so when you have a perspective that of no separation, you're able to understand the Bible for what it really is. Yes, it is a bunch of belief systems, but it has keys. If you look through the illusion, you'll find out that this being that created our souls, not this realm, our bodies, but the individual where our soul comes from, she is in everything. This is what animation means. That even this negative stuff, which you see here, everything is straight lines, except for nature. See? You curved, your hair, sacred geometry. There's no straight lines in nature. But when you get here into the so-called matrix, even their Bible is in a box.
What a box is saying.
And so this black cube isn't really here to control wolves. It's here to control sheep. And this is why we are shepherds. Because we are wolves. And yeah, you have to really begin to love yourself to understand the Bible. When you don't love yourself, you're looking for something outside of yourself to love you. And so that's the yearning that people have for God. And in particular, just to clarify, we're not black. No one who looks like me is the color of my jacket or the color of your clothing, right? So it's a reason that we have this this microbiome in our skin, this so-called pigment in our skin, and it's a lot deeper than what we think. So us who have so much melanin, us people, we love our Creator, and so they being the individuals who created our outside matrix, they understand how much someone can love the Creator. And so they put that in a space that was now able to be channeled by one entity. And this is where we get monotheism from, the belief in one God, as opposed to believing in you. And so, yeah, you have to come from a place of self-worth and self-knowledge when you read the Bible. And then you're able to, like my brother said, go in it learning something, as opposed to wanting this to be something that you follow, or something that makes you better, something outside of yourself that can make you better. And that's not the case for anybody. And back to that question of the ego. The church can cause you to have a false sense of ego, a false sense of protection. You're waiting for Jesus to fix your issue. But you have to realize, I mean, eventually you will realize, right? So yeah, whether they are connected to the source that they are here in this lifetime, or when they die, they'll be connected to the source. So they're gonna get it either way. But right now, while you're in heaven, because this is heaven that we're in, we're supposed to be walking around here in our divinity, in these light bodies. We are the darkness in these light bodies. And that is the true meaning that the Bible is trying to give us, that we are the savior of ourselves. And without changing ourselves, we're not going to change the world. There's churches, I'm not sure if anyone, well, maybe the people who are watching this are in St. Louis, but if anyone has never traveled to St. Louis, it's one of the most prevalent places when it comes to churches. There's a church on every block, for the most part. There's thousands of abandoned churches here, probably, mosques and things. So, yeah, you can tell that it's not working. You can tell that more people are really searching for that truth, because either they're finding out that all their efforts are in vain, or they see the human side of the aspect of the people in religion. So, yeah, religion is definitely a tool that's been used to cause amnesia for gods and goddesses on the planet, but it can also be a tool to be used to awaken you. Because there's verses there or spell words that will help you to awaken, and that will help you to gain clarity on some of the things that are happening inside of your body, or within your thoughts, or in your chakras, or in your aura. These things will help you to gain clarity. I was just speaking before about learning from my master teachers, Sadhguru and Yaki and Ralph, and they're the Bible. These people are the Bible. You are the Bible. When I look at you, I see DNA. I see God. And I see the Bible. It's written all over you. We got here at 3:33. So that's the cerebellum, or the cerebral Abraham, that is in your brain. And so they're talking about us, and it's a beautiful thing when we realize that we take back our power, we take back our minds, because it's the mind. That's the matrix. We are the matrix. There is no matrix outside of here, outside of me. I'm controlling all this. If you are controlling all this, if it wasn't for you, this wouldn't be going on. Okay? And
vice versa.
Yeah. And so, we have to realize that, okay, we are the creators of the reality. So, by changing our Adam and Eve, our thought and feeling, we're able to conquer that snake. We're able to conquer the things that are standing in our way, which are just in us. That's why they call it enemy, because it's in me, right? In your reflection.
Yeah, you wrote that down real great, bro.
Gratitude.
And then just the whole enemy, when we break down words like that, because we say a lot of words without even knowing what we're really saying. So it's like if we break down things just like how you broke enemy down, or like break breakfast, break fast, I feel like a lot of, and then when people look into it and do the work, then I feel like more people would just, have a realization and be able to use a third eye, like you said, with the Bible, and just read into, apply, and look into, like you said, on the esoteric level versus trying to do word for word and believe everything 100%. So, yeah.
Right. There's no way that you can read a book starting at the middle and know what happened in the front. Right? I can't just open up Psalms and you get the Bible. Right? You need to read it like a book.
Yeah.
Because it's a book.
Yeah.
And from beginning to the end is a story that's relating to you. And the more knowledge that you have about you, the better you'll be able to understand words. So one thing that will help people for sure get to that clarity, that 5D clarity where you're recognizing that you're in a body, is by reminding yourself that even these words right now are vibrations. And so it'll unlock codes in your third eye and your heart chakra, your sacral chakra. Words are vibrations, so it can help. In your meditation, remind yourself that you are not your body. You're not your mind.
Right.
You are the infinite consciousness inside, and your body comes with a mind, which is a tool. And so recognizing that, you're now able to realize, okay, this body comes with words as well. It comes with vibration, tones. And so how do I use these tones in a way that's going to be beneficial towards me and others?
Yeah.
So obviously the English language is very distorted. And so it does something to our brains. I was just listening to my brother Yaki the other day to speak about it. But it does something to our brains because there's so many lies in the language. And so we have to be careful with those. But understand that they are vibrations. So if we break them down like that, understand that everything is vibration, and we can do the work to find out where these vibrations began.
Right.
You start to become your own book, like I'm saying. Because now you understand that this book came out of someone else's thoughts and feelings. Multiple people. It came from their ideas and their chakras, their emotions, that they were feeling in that space, in that time. And so you begin to create your own vibrations. You begin to create your own Bible because it's in you. You came here lined with information from ancient times. And we can unlock that and create our own Bible. One that we follow, that is actually teaching us how to use these spaceships, because these things don't come with manuals. Right? Nobody's going to tell you to control your kundalini, and to no one's going to tell you to ground in society, because society is not the world.
Right.
the world will tell you the ground. I'm speaking about Earth, okay? Because the world and society are two different things. People say that the world is bad.
Yeah.
No. The world is beautiful.
Society.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Look at it.
I try to make that difference too to people.
It's society.
Yeah.
So if we start living more like the world that we're on, we'll get back to homeostasis, to that balance that we're looking for. And so by trusting, we make mountains move. We're going to be able to influence a lot of people, because a lot of people need good food. A lot of people need intellects. There's been a war on intellect. Everybody wants to be educated, but we are intellects, and we have knowledge that's not from this place. And that's what more people need. So the work that you're doing is major. Who you are is major. Right?
I appreciate it.
Yeah. There's all types of stuff happening in St. Louis.
Yeah.
This is happening.
And that's right. And that's powerful right there. Yeah. So when you're talking about St. Louis, you all both have traveled a lot to different places. So being in St. Louis is more like like you said, just a building block phase. Like you grow a level and you just keep growing out in St. Louis. But for me, since I'm from here, it's like coming up, especially as I got, I don't like to say old, but as I went through life, that's wisdom. So as I progressed through life, it just became like, it's always been like, it's crime everywhere, it's bad everywhere, There's always going to be a parallel, a duality. So it just seems real harsh here. And so I just decided to move away from it all. Like, I can't grow here, because like a dark cloud around the city, like they say about Chicago. But I like what you said when you said you speak vibrations and we can control the narrative basically and shift. If it's enough of us to do it, then it could be a stronger push to propel us in a different, energy. Because I believe that nothing is always on one side forever. Like nothing's never always, one place isn't always cold or too hot, There has to be some type of, midpoint. You're gonna, even if it's not dead in the middle for a certain period of time, it's gonna come back here. You're never gonna be
too alkaline,
too down, right? Or
you
too
will
acidic.
die if you're too alkaline.
Or same vice versa.
If you're too acidic, you'll die.
Exactly. So
balance
is key, and so that's why I just shed a light on what you said, because it helped remind me like we can still build, in this city. Like we don't have to abandon it, And that was my mindset some years ago. And sometimes I'm still reminded that I don't want to be here, but it's home and we can control anything where we are. So appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, my man. St. Louis is just do some deep diving. I'm gonna send you some things offline, but there's maps of Egypt, and there's been maps placed up against St. Louis, and you see exact patterns of how the land is laid out. The Nile is the exact space that the Mississippi is in, and you start to dive deep about Cahokia Mountains, and you start to seriously, man, if you've ever had a trip, you get to see things for what they really are in the realm. And this place is very powerful. That's why they're so called a cloud, because the individuals really understand how powerful this space, our realm, is. That's why they were given the arch to the west, which is really just the gateway to Atlantis.
Make sure this recording. Because I'll just not be too short with technology.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so St. Louis is a very powerful place, a place where energy from higher dimensions are being born. And where awakening is happening on a rapid level because of the latitude and longitude. We are on the 33rd parallel here in St. Louis. And so that is accelerating our growth.
33rd parallel.
The 33rd parallel. There is a band line of energy that cities are built on. Chicago is built on this. Atlanta is built on this.
It's kind of like how they got different military bases across the world because it has vortexes around.
Right. Or they build specific grids or cities in particular places. Like I told you, I came here from the Middle East, right? So out of all the places, this country, Qatar, chose St. Louis to come and train pilots to have a military because they didn't have a military. And so they came here to train pilots. And I started to question, like, okay, I've been in the military, and I know how much space is other places.
Right.
So why did they choose St. Louis out of all the places? And it's the richest country on the planet, Qatar. They have more money than anybody. And they chose here. So yeah, I just started questioning, like, why did Source really bring me here? And what is this place truly? And it is truly Egypt. Where we're at is actually Egypt, and we are in the land of milk and honey right now. This is the Garden of Eden, where we're standing present day, and this is why you're meeting individuals like me. This is why things are happening so fast. But they, when I speak of they, we talk about individuals who are our reflections on opposite
suppressors.
But they are our reflections still. And they understand how powerful you are when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to esoterics. And so they're suppressing the energy here in St. Louis because they know how powerful individuals are. And if you want to get into these spaceships that look like this, that look like melanin, there's a lot of people here. And due to that, there's a food desert here, because if you're not eating the right things, then you're not awakening. You're not going to be able to unlock what the universe needs this realm to unlock. So things can start happening. Realities can start merging where we don't see separation from what we truly are and what the space truly is. And so this place right here in particular is in the middle of America because of that energy. In the middle is like your retina. And if you look at your retina, I was just telling my brother, it's the crown of thorns. This is what they're really speaking about when they talk about Jesus. If you look in the mirror, the retina in your eyes are the crown of thorns, and this place is the middle of the realm, right? And so why are individuals like Yaki and 19 Keys being born here, right? Why are individuals like myself and my brother and you, why are we here in particular? And so you have to question yourself, because I know what I am. I know how powerful I am. I know what we came here to do. And what is this place? Where am I at? All right, I know what I'm in. Where am I at? All right. And so, St. Louis is powerful, and we came to really take back what is rightfully everyone's. Freedom is everyone's. Liberty is everyone's. It starts in here. It starts with food. Once we take back our minds with food, nobody can control our mind.
So can you talk on when you said about food, about House of Food Desert, basically?
So in places like the north side or some places on the south side, there aren't, well, even where my brother used to live at in Illinois, where they went to shop was Dollar Tree, or their grocery store was the local convenience store that also had a gas station attached to it. And so they have very limited things that they can buy. They can buy ramen noodle, they can buy processed foods, they can buy dairy, they can buy the things that are obviously not having your spaceship vibe on a high level. Okay? So these things are readily available to people, but things like fresh produce, that's not being given to those people. But there are other places here in St. Louis that are.
Yeah.
For instance, there's a place called Maplewood or a place called Brentwood, and they have a Whole Foods, they have a Schnucks, they have a Deerbergs, all in the same plaza. And so they have an abundance of produce for people there.
Right, for those people there, in that area specifically.
Right. And back to the fact that the richest country came here, that should let you know what this place is. You've never seen more Teslas than St. Louis. I've been to California. I've been to New York. I've been to Qatar.
So you feel like there's more Teslas?
Oh, no, I know that this place has the oldest money there is on this realm. This place got old money, really old money, and they're gonna want their city back. Okay, and so there are being food deserts. These food deserts are a strategic plan to obviously dissipate the body. These individuals recognize that you are in a body, and this body is affected by this place. The things that you see can affect your mind if you're not aware. The things that you eat can affect your body and your mind if you're not aware. And so you see a lot of death, a lot of killing. Well, that's because they're eating those things. They're listening to those things, and their body is drinking it. So there's a food desert. The right music isn't being put out in St. Louis. It's gang, gang, gang. The right food isn't being put out into St. Louis. It's Raising Cane's and White Castle and chop suey, which I never heard of until I came to St. Louis, right? I never heard of it.
Yeah, like we call Chinese food, we call them the Chinaman, you know?
Yes.
And it could be kind of, I never looked at it like, oh, that could be kind of like disrespectful in a sense, you know, because we just grew up saying it. So why, for the people that's listening, why like break down? Because I tell this to people sometimes, and you know, it's just good to hear fresh, you know, a new person, new face, new perspective. Why is it so? Why is food such an impact, and why is it so important to be eating the right types of food? Do you feel?
In particular, getting back to the fact that we're not our bodies. These bodies are made up of microbiome, mycelium. And these myceliums are actual beings. Getting back to the anime, these joints are deadly. They're feminine energies. They call them demons. You have a bunch of them inside of you. And each one of your cells, each layer, each shape, it's made up of one of them. And if you don't feed her the right things, she will destroy your body because you're not your body. And so eating sacred geometry, that doesn't align with your sacred geometry, because everything is information. It's math and form. That's where that word information comes from. And so in this math, there's shapes and angles in the food that we eat. So if this isn't resonating with your body, when you intake that sacred geometry with the sacred geometry that your mycelium is made of, she will attack you. And she will attack your mind, which is the true, the stomach is the true mind, right? So she will attack your mind so you won't function correctly. When I was doing drugs, doing coke, I was drinking all the time. I wasn't eating what I was supposed to. And by fasting and feeding myself life, my mind changed. Like, whoa, what? I'm seeing different now. I'm seeing the reality different now. And so that let me know, okay, my body doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the earth, and it is made up of very, very powerful divine beings. The whole thing, all of it. And it's different consciousness. And so if you're not feeding that consciousness what it needs, what it requires, it will attack you.
I think what most people don't understand or understand is that on the microscopic level of things, how food can impact that, because like you said, it's all sacred geometry. So if nature is a certain way, it is sacred geometry. We are nature, but then when things get crossbred or, you know, hybridized, it becomes corrupt and, what's the word?
Unnatural.
Long story short, basically, unnatural, not able to assimilate with us. So I don't think people grasp that on that level, and then I feel like if they did, then they will be like, okay, well, some people, because some people just don't care, but those that be like, okay, I've learned this, I know this now, let me do different, you know, because I feel like they just throw a lot of excuses or reasons on why, you know, why they don't want to and all that, and, you know, I get it, but...
fear. So they're eating, back to eating. You may be eating fear, not you in particular, but this individual who are fighting. They may be eating something that is causing them anxiety and fear. And just reading the Ruiz brothers, who are Toltec shamans, they speak about the mind's addiction to suffering.
The who brothers? I'm sorry.
They're Ruiz. David, I believe his name is David.
I think one of them names. They're shamans from Peru.
Okay. Y'all met them or?
No,
Okay,
just read their books.
Yeah, the book they came out with.
I believe he wrote The Alchemist as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wrote The Alchemist?
I believe so. If I'm not correct.
One, I think the author is Paulo Coelho. I can't pronounce it. If I see it starts with P, Paulo Coelho or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe they're one of the writers.
But these shamans speak about, and I'm sure they speak about it in that book too, but the mind has an addiction to suffering. The mind likes to suffer because of repetition and suffering. And until you break that repetition of suffering, you will continue to want to suffer. And so, it gets back to self-love. How much do you love God? Right? Because a lot of people love God. But how much?
They realize
that was them.
That's the key, right?
If they realize that was them, they would love that thing, man. They would respect the fact that they are in God, right? Or God is them, they are in a body. So you love the inner you that much that you want to protect the spaceship that you're walking around here in. And so that's love. You have that type of love for yourself. You start to really understand eating. I mean, consuming. So when I'm speaking about eating, I'm talking about everything that we do, guys. I'm talking about the places and the people and the music. That's what I mean by eating when I talk about eating. So consuming, you begin to consume differently. You begin to be patient with the things that you consume. You begin to want to read the ingredients because you love yourself that much. So you want to know what you're consuming. And then you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to feel like, yo, what can I eat? And I love this one, and I wish he would do it again. And I know he's going to see this video. But Yaki talks about our purpose. Everybody has a purpose. But it's not what you think it is. Like, my purpose is not to walk around with the staff and to heal people through eating plant-based and to do mushrooms and heal folks, right? My purpose is in my hands. Because this thing has purpose, this spaceship has purpose. But I have no purpose. See, my fingers are shaped the way they are, my fingernails, so that they can peel back the skin or the meat of an avocado, or an orange. He's talking about the anatomy of your body, why you have 5 fingers, why you have 2 hands, why you have eyes and a nose and ears, the things that God needs to receive information through. So if you're following the purpose of your body, which God already gave you that, right? It's now that you're the co-creator, you get to do something with that, right? But you have already been given a purpose through what you are. And being Homo sapien, you are created to eat fruits and vegetables. most people are religious, they don't read that part of the Bible. It's in Genesis. It says that these trees are bearing fruit, and it shall be meat unto you. And truly, if you look at your anatomy, you're perfect for breaking down enzymes in fruits and vegetables. You're perfect for putting alkaline things in your body. You were created for that. If you were created to chase down your prey, you would be purposed with that. Your back would be purposefully elongated, and your legs would be purposely curved so that you could spring off at the drop of a hat and chase your prey.
Because it's facts.
It's facts. Look at me.
Yeah.
What can I do?
Yeah.
When you wake up in the morning, you want to, okay, what can I do with this thing?
Yeah.
All right, I can do that. Man, I would have to either sharpen this thing really sharp, or somehow come up with a gun or something like that. If I was in the wilderness or something, I would come up with something outside of myself to do that thing. So what do I have inside or in my capabilities to do?
Yeah.
Okay. That is my purpose. And so by following that, you begin to realize, okay, I'm here to eat a certain thing. I'm here to walk a certain way. Like, obviously, I can open doors and lions can't do that. Okay, so I'm here to do a certain thing. Why am I not doing that? You know? And so, yeah, you start diving deep into consuming the things that you should be purposefully consuming. But humans have food choice. We're the only species that have that choice.
Yeah.
And because we are the creator of all this.
And that's what I was going to say. What do you feel about how would you answer to those people that be like, oh, well, you know, we have knives and guns, you know, we can do this, we can eat animals, you know, we have options, like you said, you know. And or what about our ancestors, you know, who back in the day hunted and, you know what I'm saying? How would you respond to when they bring facts or, you know, things up like that of that nature?
Well, I know for sure that my ancestors, who were so-called slaves, were thinking the same way I am right now. I met them. And so I know for sure that they were this enlightened. And so if they were eating those things, it was because they were required to eat those things based on the environment that they may have been in. But that's not the case for all of our ancestors.
Right, exactly.
Some of our ancestors were indoctrinated. Some of our ancestors, and we are our ancestors, by the way, some of them were made to eat a certain thing, and that stuck. And so, but yeah, God didn't create meat. God created animals.
Facts.
And
can you say that one more time?
Yeah, God didn't create meat. God created animals, right? And so you turned that animal into meat, and then you said that it was a good thing. And so you see that you are God. You see? God don't know nothing about no meat. You made that up. And so you have to,
it's just, it sounds so simple, but like, it's so much like magnitude to it, you know, because it's a whole living
being.
Exactly. And that's why
you didn't eat your dog. So I just spoke to someone today. I was cooking a plant-based breakfast for people, and I told him to say the word meat 15 times. He said it. All right, now say animals. Yeah, that hurt a little bit more. Now you felt that one. It's back to vibrations. They understand what you are. So they put symbols that mean nothing.
I just heard that too some days ago. It was a correlation, They beef, pork. They don't say lamb or they do.
Call it.
Right.
Call it life. Do you eat life? I do.
Animals.
And so
that's why
that's the key. God did not create meat. We did through the animals that Source created, and that's not natural. So if anyone was doing that, it was out of fight or flight survival. But as we elevated, because we've always been in this enlightened, but something dropped us in frequency.
Yeah.
So, like I'm saying, man, there ain't no, and I'm gonna say it like that, there ain't no lions eating vegetables. Yo, there is no hawk out there eating fruit. Why is that? There ain't, right?
Right.
Okay, so he's designed to do that.
Yeah.
So that's why he's doing that. Because he has the fangs, or the talons, or the beak to rip that flesh. They're sharp.
Yeah.
And they have the digestive system to process that thing. Okay, so they're created like that.
They're created like that. And
they're not doing it out of fight or flight.
Yeah.
They're doing it because it is their purpose.
It's how they were programmed. It's how they were embedded. You know, it's who they are. And I was saying, when I was growing up, we used to always drive past this Chinaman, you know, where we got the food from. And there was started to be like rumors like, oh, they cut up dog there, you know. And we were so like propelled, you know, or not propelled, but like repulsed by like, we want to never eat dogs, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the same thing going back to what you were saying.
People, man, I think people think that they're human, okay? And they think that extraterrestrials are something outside of themselves,
They think
right?
they're human because of the label.
Right. But when you really think about what they're telling us, because they're telling us that we're on a floating ball in the middle of space, right? So what are you? What am I? And we're the same thing as Saturn. We just call ourselves Earth.
Yeah.
We're the same thing as Mars. We just call ourselves Earth. So we actually are supposed to be doing something here. We actually are the creators of this realm. And we're walking around here forgetting that we can create our reality and that we can know ourselves enough to be moving around here correctly, to be truly eating the right things. I'm not saying anybody has to be vegan. I've conquered my ego enough. I've done enough shadow work to say you can eat whatever you want to eat. You can live your life however you express your life. But as for me in my house, I love God.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to feed God what's good. I'm going to put God around the right people. I'm going to put God around the right music. Because I love myself that much. I'm not saying that you don't love yourself in other ways. There's levels to love. Okay? There's different dimensions to love.
Definitely.
And there's different types of love. And so, but unconditional love, agape, is what I have. Agape. It's the love that transcends all of love.
Is that what is?
They speak about it in the Bible.
Agape. Is that an English word?
No, it's a Greek word.
Greek.
Yeah, it comes from a Greek word. I think it means total.
Total.
In total, or totality.
Okay.
Or infinite almost.
Okay.
Infinite love. Do you have that? That type of cosmic love that you know what you are.
Yeah.
And so you want to protect that. You want to love that. Because you really love God. That's why I'm telling you, man. They know. Because I love God. You thought you were religious. Not even religious.
Yeah.
But I love God. Call him Jesus, whatever you wanted to at that time. But I love God.
Yeah.
And so when I found out that it's me, oh man.
And that makes me think too. It's because I be realizing I was thinking about this like a week or two ago. It's crazy because a lot of stuff is crazy, but this particular thing is crazy because y'all familiar with Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
And Vegeta?
Yeah.
So that's a whole other thing. I look at it as the Saiyans, but Vegeta's real prideful in his race, right? I feel like, and then we go around the world, we're told not to be prideful. You know, a lot of people in their ethnic group or race group have, you know, pride. And it's not, I think they've hammered it onto us like it's a bad thing to have pride for where we come from. But we look at everybody else and they have pride in themselves, you know? So I just find it real like wild that it's hammered on us not to and suppress, oh, you can't be prideful, you know what I'm saying, of who you are and where you come from. So I really resonate with that. Like,
I speak about identity. When you recognize that your true identity has nothing to do with your body, you really start to understand what this body is. Yaki, my man, he did a beautiful depiction on so-called Caucasians and so-called black folks and the difference.
I think I saw that one, the extraterrestrial one.
Yeah, there's a clear difference in our sacred geometry, right? And that has nothing to do with racism. That's just nature. It's a natural thing. It's a natural thing to do and to be like the place where you're from or the people that you're around.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. No, ᴚᴜᴜ is an advocate for Indians, okay? He recognizes that India is at a deficit because of other entities, other beings suppressing that spirituality that is coming out of that intellectual body, okay? Which represents India. And they're very intellectual, they're very tapped in spiritually, but it's being suppressed. And he recognizes that. So he, being in a body that is so-called Indian, he has to be humble to that and take pride in that. And no, that's not a bad thing. But when you identify with being black, then it could be problematic because you're not black.
Right.
Someone made this up. His name was Dr. Blumenbach. He's from Chicago. In 1865, I believe, this man created the concept of race. And that's where black, white, and all these things came from. So he created that out of his thoughts and feelings.
And then our people as a whole is like we just constantly get recategorized, you know, Negro, color, black, whatever else. I actually made a video about it, like they keep throwing different things because one, in the States, it's like they already operate when it comes to law, they operate in code, you know, with certain words to bind us. And so I just feel like let's create something for ourselves and then push that word and claim it, you know what I'm saying? Because every time we just take whatever they give us, but then that's, you know, it's only harming us and hurting us and holding us back from, you know,
ascending.
Exactly.
You are a multi-dimensional being. I told you I came from the moon and the sun. I know that. I'm a Cancer. I'm not ruled by the moon. I am the moon. That's why I feel me. That's why they feel me. Because I am the sun, the one, as are you. And so when we start identifying with the source that we are, then we remove a false agenda of an identity to suppress us from walking around here in your divinity and as pure source. They gave you a name, and this name, Na'am, you hear that? Na'am is a sound. Your name is a sound, and sounds carry vibrations. They're falling right now on your clothes, these words I'm speaking.
I feel them.
So the name that they gave you may resonate over time because you have the longest memory, and time is water, and water has the longest memory. You are water.
Yeah.
And so
that's a great point.
Them calling you a nigger here stuck with the waters because no one told you how to remove that energy from your water or to remove that memory from your water, which carries long memory. Yo, this is the oldest technology on this place.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. Yo, eating the things that I eat, they unlock.
Yeah.
They unlock these types of things. So back to identity. The identity is given to you here when you're in this form, and if you're not able to understand what you are as far as God and the Creator, as far as energy, as far as life itself, you are. If it was not for you, life would not be happening, bro. No, seriously, the only reason that I'm here is because you thought me up. Okay? Like, the only reason that I'm here is because you are life. And life is happening. You are happening. The I am that I am.
Yeah.
So, not knowing that very young can cause you to think things that are given to you. But you are just the I am. You're not black. You're not from St. Louis. You were just born here. And you're not, your culture, that culture was just assimilated to the people that came before you. Right? So, you are. That's it. And be proud of that. Be proud of the fact that you know that you are the creator. There's not much that can touch you, bro. Death is not real.
Yeah. I bring it up a lot too, how us in the West need to, you know, adopt the ways of the East, because it seems like they're more comfortable and prepared, you know, for that phase in life.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, man, this is the land of milk and honey, right? And so the people here are producing milk and honey. They don't even know it. The dollar, I can take you to a country where one of your dollars is worth 444 of theirs. One of your American dollars is worth 444 of theirs.
I've been looking into that too.
So
that's crazy.
So you are in the land of milk and honey.
Yeah.
And they are, you know, hiding that in ways so they can cipher all of your energy. Because whether you work at, whether you're a shaman or you work at a place where you're flipping burgers, or you work at AT&T, they just want you there because your body has the energy to push that button. So the real gold is you. The real currency is you, the energy. And so the energy here is worth way more than it is in a place like Taiwan or a place like Zimbabwe or...
Yeah. They also have places out there, they don't even allow you to use like GoFundMe. A person can't really wonder why that is. It's like you should just know, like it's kind of common sense on why that is how it is. Real quick, I did want to talk about y'all drip. You know, for the people, like, you know, talk about the, you know, whole fit, you know, talk about the staff and the rings, what it all means to you and what people see it. Talk to the people that don't know what it is.
So yeah, clothes are, like you're saying, it's all vibration. And the vibration that we give off with the staff in particular is a vibration of control. When I carry my staff because I am in control of my spaceship. And I also just want to shake people's reality, because I know that's what it does. It allows people to see the real from the fake. And my clothes, the reason that I wear clothes bright in color, or you see me have the sacred geometry, is because I want people to recognize that I'm not my clothes. Right? We were born naked, and these things are illusions. And so, yeah, I try to make my clothes an art piece separate from my body, so that people recognize the difference between me and my actual self, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, this, like I said, I'm my mama's baby. This is my mama's jacket she gave to me. I had to rock it. You know what I mean?
That's love.
Yeah, man. And I keep my feathers in my hair.
What do feathers represent to you?
I have a blue jay here, which represents focus for me. I have a duck, which represents trust for me. Like I was telling you, ducks trust themselves enough to float on that water. And I have a dove here, just seeing things from a higher perspective.
Okay.
And the colors represent love. It represents the divine feminine and the root chakra. So yeah, this is a drip I got on. My ring, this is druzy quartz. This is some crystals that we forged here, and the copper ring
Y'all made that? No.
Yeah, we make these ourselves. Yeah.
See, everything is intentional.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. The copper in my nose is intentional for to keep my breathing online. Copper is very, very beneficial when it comes to your skin, your respiratory system, etc.
I gotta give you some.
Yeah, man. We got you, bro.
Yeah, we got you. I'm locked in now.
We got you, bro.
And and just so you know, the copper is naturally in your body as well. So we seek out metals that are naturally in us to amplify the body itself. And the same with the staffs. Your body is an antenna for information, and so everybody, regardless of who you are, is channeling all day long from their higher self the information that they're giving out. You know that you're channeling from your higher self when you have those conversations where you touch the other person's heart, or you give them something that wakes them up and changes their whole reality, or you just channeling from another source that could be a song that you heard or something like that, and you hear people just walking down the street saying random things from a song that they like. That's also just them channeling from a source that they were just listening to, just got downloaded with. So your body is an antenna, is a satellite, and so these staffs are also amplifying that satellite as well, that your body, your spaceship as well. And so that's another reason why these have come to us to help us to receive information that probably has a hard time getting to you, because especially with all the 5D towers and stuff like that here in the city, all the radio, there's just a lot of radiation pollution in the city. You're just gonna have that because of the cluster of people.
So much stuff.
So you can wear things, you can put certain things on your body, and of course in your body, to amplify yourself, and so to literally push away negative energy, negative frequencies from your aura, because everything's trying to compress you like that. And the stronger you are mentally, physically, emotionally, the stronger your aura is, and it's just expanding and expanding. And so these things, the things that we wear, the crystals that we keep in our pocket, what this is right here is lapidolite, which enhances focus, and also my ability to remember my dreams as well.
That's a real nice piece.
Yeah, gratitude, man. You're welcome. And so these things, we keep these things on us to amplify ourselves and to, again, push away negative frequency away from the body, away from our personal or magnetic field that is being created around us. Gratitude.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
What about the necklace and the earrings?
Yeah, same turquoise. It's definitely a good one for focus. It's a good one for emotional relationships as well. Especially if you are a new dad, definitely get you some turquoise. Get you some turquoise around the house or on your person. You'll start to see if you're intentional about bonding with your child, you start to see that bond starting to come starting to mesh a little bit easier. Turquoise was, side note, turquoise, when I first, because I left Christianity, so when I first started to separate myself from religion, this was one of the first stones that I was like, okay, if this is real, if this is the way that our ancestors actually lived, and this is how they connected with the source, with their environment, and they use these things, then let someone give me a turquoise necklace, And that happened when I moved here to St. Louis. We were selling our jewelry on the street, and it wasn't this turquoise necklace in particular, but the first turquoise necklace that I own, someone walked up to me and said, "Hey, I feel like you guys can use this stuff." It's just sitting at my house, and she hands me a turquoise charm with a necklace. And so that for me, and again, by that time I was already walking around with my staff, and I had just had more confirmation that this was really real. But that was even just like a cherry on the cake, That was like, okay, everything that I'm saying is being heard. Everything I'm saying is being heard. So the turquoise, the the brass, which is copper and another metal together to make brass. It may just actually be iron. I'm not 100% on that. But I felt it was more about the symbolism of the earring itself, which is a bird. If you guys can't see that. That
you want to step into it?
I found these on Merrimack, and I hate that I can't remember the name of the store, but you can't miss her. It starts with a K. Yeah. But her name is Miss Cheryl. If you guys do go searching for her. Yeah. One of the signs that I was on the right track on my daily journey, especially when I moved here in the city, was feathers. We were finding feathers just about everywhere we were going. I was even meditating at a park in Maplewood, and I was just sun gazing and just talking to the source. I just separated from my wife, so really just asking for clarity on certain things, on why things are happening the way that they are. Did I make the right move? All these things, and as I'm saying that, a hawk comes and lands like maybe 3-4 feet away from me, just in the grass, just lands right there and just staring at me. And so from that day, I was just like, okay, I'm not just finding these feathers for no reason. This isn't just, there's no coincidence. And the sources let me know through these, through the birds, through the hawk particularly, because there's a ton of hawks here in St. Louis, so many hawks, bro. And they just happen to be part of our spirit guides, the way that the source has guided us through the things, helping us remember through the animals, with other things too, but especially for, like I said, for us with the hawks for sure. And so that was the really reasoning behind the earrings. There was one of a kind at the store, and I just knew, like, okay, I'm supposed to have those. Yeah, I'm supposed to be rocking those. Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah.
Since they don't know, can y'all speak on just the different things that y'all do? And also for me, because I know, of course, we big on the food. Y'all chef it up, and also that y'all do welding too, and you do carpeting as well. Y'all want to expand on that? Y'all can.
Yeah. And so me and my brother are just coming out with our company name. Is Infinite Healing. It's where we'll be doing our psilocybin ceremonies. It's where we host either a small group of people or just one individual one-on-one, and we take an ancestral plant, normally in the form of psychedelic psilocybin, and we also bring food, but we heal from trauma. We cry, we laugh, we listen to music, we play sound bowls, play ancestral music, and things like that. And we really go after the subconscious mind so that we can heal. And that's one of the things that we do outside of food, but alongside food as well.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's
yeah, absolutely. Like I was saying, we're very multi-dimensional beings. My brother also, he'll tell you, but doing massages in a way that is attacking the lymphatic system and the trauma that is resting in your lymphatic system. He can move that with his hands because it's sacred geometry, my man. Yeah. We are just promoting that more, getting that by word of mouth, and people who are looking for us to be healed. They come to us and we offer them a ceremony. And so besides that, the cooking that we do, we show up to places like Thomas Dunn Learning Center, which is here in St. Louis, 3113 Gasconade. But we do a cooking plant-based cooking demo there, where we show people what to cook with the plant-based foods that they're receiving from food shares or that they may get from the store and not know what to do with it, right? And so, yeah, we have that one, and we also do another one at a place called the Guardian Angels, which is on Jefferson, It's I think that is 3300 Jefferson Ave.
Okay.
We're there on every other Thursday from 5 to 7, and doing the same, just feeding children, adults, just giving them more guidance on ways that they can eat to live and try new recipes at home. So
I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, we love doing that.
Grateful for that.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
We love doing
It's a pleasure.
Um,
One of the other things that we definitely do is meditate every day at some point, even if you can't it's good to have like a schedule where you wake up and this is the first thing that you're doing. But if you can't have that and it's kind of like sporadic, everybody should be meditating at least 10 minutes a day. It helps quiet the mind, and again, it helps you to start to step more into relationship with who you really are versus what your body is doing here. Does that make sense? And so that experience that I had where it felt like I stepped out of my body or away from my body, that was definitely because I was rigorously meditating at 5:55 every day. When I first started to leave religion, I was just like, okay, I want to tap in, I want to go deeper, because I realizing the stuff that I saw in Christianity, the miracles and stuff like that was happening, I knew that there was something to it, but I wanted to connect with the source that was allowing all this to happen. And so that was definitely one of the things that like pushed us and thrust us at the beginning of our journey, was that we were meditating day and night multiple times, really just going after it, really just wanting to see what's really going on, and to do that, you go within.
Gotta go within.
Yeah. Sun gazing will also help you to break free of self-doubt, fear, things like that. Sun gazing, because you're staring at something that knows its purpose. Even gazing at a tree, at the moon, like these things know their purpose, and by you just staring at them, you're staring at something that has a conscious, that is alive, and it's giving you information, telling you about yourself, helping you to unlock things that are keeping you bound at a certain level as well.
Staring, I like what you said, staring at something, observing something that knows its purpose.
Yeah.
That's power in that.
Which you are the tree.
Right. Because a lot of times when you think on a certain level, we want to be around successful people because we have something to learn from them and we can grow and elevate, right?
Yeah.
So I think that goes hand in hand what you said. I like how you put that for real.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like how you said that.
How would you recommend people to go about meditating? Because I hear a lot, like, it's hard for them to, focus, or there's different types of meditations we know, but for somebody that's just getting into it, how would y'all walk them into it? It runs into the problem of
one of the exercises that I started practicing now that I wasn't doing at the beginning was staring at a candle. If you can find a white candle, that's the best way to go. But if you just have a candle at your space now, just staring at the flame is meditation. And what you're practicing is keeping your focus just on the flame for as long as you can, without your mind going off into what you did yesterday, what you're going to do tomorrow, what you're going to do in the next 5 minutes. You know what I mean? You're trying to control your mind or your thoughts, and just focus on that flame itself, and again, in that, because it's just like staring at the sun, you're going to get downloads, you're going to get information about yourself. At the same time, you're training your brain to be able to focus on one thing as well, because that goes into manifesting. That goes into focusing on a goal or idea that something that you want to see in this reality. The longer you're able to focus on that one thing for an extended period of time, the faster you'll see that manifesting into your reality. Right. So that's the key, and that's definitely one of the ways that they got us in elementary school, by sending us to this class for hour, this class for hour, this class for hour, this class for hour. And then next thing you know, your brain is so mashed up with full of information, trying to process it all. Now you can't focus, right? And now you're getting in trouble because you don't feel like sitting down, because there's something inside of you that's just like, yo, I need to get all of this out. I need to get this energy out, you know? And so they don't teach us how to focus in school.
They teach us to focus on the wrong things.
Facts. Facts.
Also, make sure y'all sun gazing at the right times.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, particular times or early rising, or when the sun is maybe going down. There you can actually see the sacred geometry in the sun, and you can be able to stare at it for an extended period of time. I know for sure what works for me when it comes to sun gazing is preparing myself for sun gazing through breath work, and
that makes sense.
And just closing my eyes and preparing myself for what I'm getting ready to do, and that is a form of meditation. And so when I look at the sun, my eyes don't hurt because I've already prepared myself for what I'm getting ready to do. So my subconscious mind has just been trained enough to be able to look at the sun without blinking in particular times like you're speaking about. But yeah, I go within first, prepare myself by either saying some affirmations or, like I was saying, breath work prepares my body for getting ready to intake that much information.
Breath work is so powerful. I think the smallest things make a huge impact, just as, like you said, breathe in. If we work stuff like that, breathe in. And I was talking to my barber earlier because he was asking about my age, and I'm like, yeah, I'm such and such, and I just make sure he like getting up there. I'm like, yeah, well, you know, I make sure to stretch my body out because, you know, as we get more wise, as you say, we have to continue certain habits because to obtain the, you know, the vessel to keep it going the right way. Because a lot of people get to a lot of elders have back problems and can barely, you know, walk up or sit up straight, you know. So a lot of things, a lot of small things create big problems. But if we, you know, just stay on them, then we'll be good. So that's why I think it's always important to pay attention to the details in life. So small things like that, just fundamentals.
That's the word.
Yeah, definitely. Don't be afraid to add those yoga stretches in there for sure. Those things are also bringing in information to the body as well. There are also forms of sacred geometry that you're physically doing with your body. So yeah, that's good. I'm glad you brought up stretching. That's definitely a big one for sure.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. If there's anything else that y'all wanna just speak on, feel free.
No, I mean, for me, I just want to extend as much gratitude as possible, man, for opening up the space for us.
We gonna have more of these, y'all.
Yeah, you're doing incredible work.
Likewise.
Yeah, we will. We will do this more often. Sometimes it was one time in particular. It was my birthday, and I was just getting ready to go on a ceremony, and I called my mother, or she called me, and she said, "Go deep." For me this time, you know what I'm saying? And so, we go deep so that we can bring back information that is going to benefit all of us. So, thank you for holding this space for us, man.
Hey, I'm grateful and I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, gratitude.
For real. I'm happy that I'm able to just be around y'all and have like-minded people around, you know, or guys, I'll say, creators. Just in the same space, and iron sharpens iron, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, that's powerful.
It's very powerful. I'm just learning that myself, just coming out of a relationship, how important it is to be around people that know themselves, people who love themselves, people who are also on the journey, because the weaknesses that you have, that's somebody else's strength.
Yeah.
And you can use that person, not in a way that is using them, but love that person and and they can give you that strength that they have to sharpen your weakness, and it becomes a strength. So having yourself surrounded by people who are like-minded, who are ready and willing to change and to go with change and open, is very, very influential and very powerful. So I'm glad you spoke on that. Get around the right people. Start loving yourself to get around the right people, and keep those people, keep your circle tight, so that you can be excelled forward, because there's times that we're getting ready to come into where we're going to need a strong community. We're going to need people who know how to garden, who know how to build things, who know how to be economically and financially sound. We're going to need these people. And so building a community like this is very important. And so all the resources that we can get, I very much accept them and appreciate them.
You're gonna build this city and the world back up, man. One step at a time. One step at a time. I see it. I'm not gonna say too much on camera, but I just know.
Facts.
The last thing, I just wanted to, when you had brought up Cahokia, because I used to go out there like a lot last year, and then sometimes before. I remember I went on a field trip when I was younger out there. So Cahokia is real symbolic to me. And that's why I was excited for spring and the sun to come back, because I'm like, I can't wait to go, meditate and just be out there. It's a specific tree right by the mound that I go to and talk to, and so I'm excited to go see the tree and vine. So me and one of my bros that y'all had met plan to go out there sometime this upcoming month, I guess, or within this month, I mean. So when you were speaking on it, could you just speak on it a little bit, just so I can get what you were saying about how Cahokia, because I was watching Hidden Colors a little bit, and they briefly talked about it as far as how it was in fact a pyramid.
So it was a pyramid that was built by indigenous beings. They look just like you and I, and it's one of the oldest pyramids on the planet. They want to match it up with times like the Egyptian times, where Thoth moved from Egypt to the Americas, and he brought individuals with him. He was giving them knowledge and enlightening beings on how to use this energy to bring in energy to the realm. And so Cahokia mounds being positioned in between Illinois and St. Louis brought in a lot of energy. Merchants, or Mercury, and Venus and Saturn. These mounds were bringing in people that, energies that were foreign. And so, Cahokia is a sacred place still, and not a lot of people know that there are pyramids all around them. Pyramids, not just the Cahokia, but there are other pyramids alongside the Mississippi that have been found predating the ones in Egypt, and some of the ones in the Aztec, I don't know if it was the Aztecs, because they were not as intelligent, but there were people there before the Aztecs that built pyramids, Thoth. And so, the energy that it carries is very ancient. So going out there and meditating and being on that sacred geometry and around that sacred geometry is very powerful. We built this place a long time before there was a so-called Christopher Columbus. We were here. We are not, all of us didn't come over here on small ships, and so it's very powerful. I want to do more deep diving myself. I've been out there, I think once or twice.
You should go out
one time for sure.
One time.
One time for sure. I went there and I hiked down, and I felt the energy for sure. So it's interesting. It's interesting that a lot of the things, like I was saying, a lot of the maps are matching up with Egypt, and you're finding places like Cahokia Mounds here, and you're finding different pyramids along the Mississippi.
I was watching a YouTuber, her name is the Real Kaya. She was showing how different TikTok videos on how they had places in Arizona with pyramids. That's why you see, you know, they make a big deal and show like man-made, you know, just big tourist attractions, like they throw it in our face. But it was definitely pyramids out there, and then also like the Grand Canyon. They found some artifacts and just a lot of stuff popping up about, you know, pyramids in Egypt. So it's definitely got my attention to look into more.
Just recently, my brother built one. Built a pyramid. And when I sat underneath it, I was led to a group of individuals who healed my body, who healed my chakras. So these things, these shapes, okay, because it's all shapes and symbolism, these things carry very, very powerful energy. And based on this the star of life that the pyramid is, which represents you being around a pyramid, which this whole thing is built around, is very powerful. Well, you being aware of that, because awareness brings in that feeling, and that feeling brings in that belief, and that changes your reality. So becoming aware of what pyramids are and what they're truly meant for. It's the reason that they're on the back of a dollar. Okay, it's the reason that they're the greatest information of our time right now. It's the reason that in that time, that golden age, people were awakening. It says, "Know thyself" on every pyramid before you walk into the door. And so these people were enlightening each other. They recognized that they weren't their bodies, so they were mummifying their bodies so they could step back in to their bodies. So yeah, knowing what these things are and how they correlate with us is very important. You have two upside down pyramids in your pineal. It's called the Makarba.
Yeah.
And the Makarba is what you are. You are the pyramid. The pyramid looks like this. There's the same thing that you see on top is what is built on the bottom. Which represents masculine and feminine energies, which is what we.
They don't even show that part.
No.
On the ground.
They don't teach you about that part. But yeah, there's a whole nother pyramid inverted underneath the ground, and which is where the energy is held, which is where the energy from your kundalini is pushed up to your from your sacrum to your crown. This is what these things represent. So knowing that when you go to a Cahokia Mount, or not even knowing that, but those things can be downloaded to you while you're there, and you get to see yourself in all of it, because you are in all of it. Truly, the Creator who created you is in everything. And so, yeah, tapping into these sacred shapes, tapping into this sacred symbolism can turn your body up to the next level. I'm very interested in going out there and learning more and diving deep more about Cahokia Mountains.
Yeah, we all should definitely, of course, y'all on y'all own time, but we all should go as well too, as a collective. That'd be cool. The first time we met, we had a real quick conversation. It wasn't even, it was more so just talking about the food and what they were doing out here, what we were both doing, exchanging names and information. We didn't even build like this, so this is raw, free flowing, and it's definitely gonna be more. It's so much to talk about. So much to talk about. I'm watching Hidden Colors. It's like 10 hours, but I break it up. So I'm gonna do y'all service. It's probably gonna be like maybe 2 hours or so. Maybe we gonna see, but. Again, I can't express how much I'm grateful for y'all. Appreciate y'all. Glad y'all came. Links in the description for whatever is needed as far as any websites y'all want to shout out.
You can follow us on YouTube at Alchemy Food.
Facts.
You can follow our Instagram. That's the same, Alchemy Food 999, and our Infinite Healing as well.
Yeah, infinite-healing at MailChimp.com, and like I said, I'll send him over that email or that website, so y'all can book meditation if you want to do group. If you want to do one-on-one, you can book us on there. If you want to do any spiritual work, any aura cleansing, aura baths, things like that, you can also book on there. And also, if you're interested in any like shamanic healing, using psilocybin, even using cannabis, cacao, these things, we also help facilitate you to tap into your higher self and help you go within as well. So you can find those services on the website also.
All right, y'all. Appreciate it again.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm about to turn off because we're about to have some off-camera discussion. Y'all got enough, so appreciate y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace, love, light and darkness, all that. Not necessarily points, but like a lot of stuff that you said made me want to have something to say.
I see.
Okay.
So yeah, so you have a council of mystical creatures assigned to you: angels, demons, creatures who have 4 arms, creatures who have 2 arms, purple, green. Individuals, like the what has been created is vast, right? And so there's a council of galactic beings that are specifically assigned to and has chosen to raise the vibration of this planet, and you are that, right? That's why we're meeting like this, as above, so below. So if we're talking here, then we've been communicating in the ether, in the etheric realm as well, in our true forms, right?
And that council could be like ancestors or different ascended people or beings, I should say.
Right, and your ascended self.
Right.
Your ascended self, our ascended self has actually met to have this, to make sure that this goes on in this dimension right now, right? So, because again, the whole purpose, one of the purposes of being here is to raise the vibration of this planet to the 5th, 6th dimension and beyond, right?
So yeah, so like you said before, we was operating on we have fallen, you know, in consciousness, so it makes sense to raise back up. Like I said earlier, we can only stay in one place for so long. It's not permanent. So 2 things I want to say to what you said. I did realize, the first time I did, I realized like, and I don't know if it's an individual thing, you know, because I guess everybody has their own experience, but what I noticed during mine first time is like, I was more feel on myself, and it's like it seemed like I didn't want my clothes on. And then also, as of lately, with the microdosing, and even the first time, I made sure I didn't have my contacts, and I got contacts, right?
Okay.
I've noticed the first time I didn't have them on, and I could, you know, see different things, and then when I close my eyes, I see even more. But when I do have them in, I'm like, this is a limit to me. You know, it's blocking me, actually.
I see.
And so I feel like the contacts, the glasses, the clothes, all of it is, like you said, just everything's trying to block us. So I think that's important. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
And then the parallel universe part, I love that part too, because it goes back to 2 movies in particular. The latest Doctor Strange movie that came out.
The multiverse one.
Yeah, the Madness one.
Yeah.
And then the other one, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yeah.
Y'all seen that?
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
Yo,
that's exactly.
But that's exactly both of those 2 movies came out, and that's correct. When they came out around the same time, one, and then also before I even seen the Doctor Strange one, it was just crazy because I had a dream that felt so real, and I'm like, no, this was not a dream. I was
there
altering somebody, or not altering, but I was in a parallel universe, experiencing what they was going through. And I was like, wow, this is really real. You know, dreams aren't just, you know, they happen that you're done with them. It's like, it's another realm, but I think dreams is deep. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I just wanted to capture what you said, for real.
Yeah, no, that's no coincidence. So like you travel in your dream.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think that we're actually supposed to get to a point, whether you're using psilocybin or not, to sit down like the last airbender and talk to the people that you need to talk to for advice, talk to your counsel, meet with your counsel, and to become more aware of yourself and your purpose of being here. Like the source isn't trying to hide anything. You know what I mean? Like this game, it's a game of things unfolding, and we get to enjoy that game. But at the same time, you can still. I personally believe that the last Airbender was putting us on to the fact that we can actually go into that avatar state and actually like talk to the people that we need to talk to in order to like, okay, this is what I need to do today.
So you know many rounds, bro.
Yeah. I think that kind of clarity that we have. Access to that kind of clarity, like how and even in the Avatar, like I just finished it the other day, so it really like I just finished it. I know I'm late to the game.
Oh no, bro.
You
never let you go.
Yeah.
Divine time.
So remember at the end, he was like meeting with everybody, because he wasn't really trying to kill the. Zuko's dad, right? And so, but everybody was like, "Yo, you gotta do what you gotta do." You know what I mean?
I was thinking, look, at that part of the show, I'm like, this is getting pretty dark. You know?
You
actually gonna do it? You gonna do it?
Right. Yeah, bro. And so, but even though he was meeting with his people, he still had to make the decision for himself, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, even I feel like we have access to the kind of clarity where, like T'Challa, we go and like, "Yo, Dad, pump it up." You know what I mean? Why'd you leave it? Just, you know, blah blah. But he still had to come back and figure out who T'Challa was. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's still, you're still in the game, still in the puzzle, but you have access to be able to sit down and talk to people. I think that we're breaking through to that ability to be able to, either with mushrooms or without, to go into the dream state and speak to who we need to speak to. I think we have that capability.
Yeah, like you said, not just mushrooms, definitely different forms. Like you said, tobacco. Sometimes like during rituals. Yeah, definitely different ways. But mushroom, I definitely agree. Yeah.
I did. Since you were talking about acid, do you want to keep keep going?
Oh yeah, no. It's
okay. All right. Since you were talking about acid, when I lived in Miami, I did DMT.
That's it. Yeah.
And I saw, well, on 2 occasions. On the first occasion, I was just laid back in this couch, on the couch, and the music that because we had a chaperone, Kevin knew what he was doing. He had done it before, and so all of us was kind of laid out on the couch, and we put it on top of cannabis, and we smoked it that way. And when I laid back and closed my eyes, the music wasn't coming from the speaker; it was coming from my forehead. And it was just like coming out like this in spirals, right? And that journey, that I went from there, I followed that, and it led me down this hallway full of individual men that were like probably 40 feet tall, yo. But every single thing, you see like the little honestly diamonds on your skin. Everything was the cannabis leaf. Everything, bro, from the eyeballs, the thing that made up the eyeball, the retina, the crown, every single thing was a cannabis leaf, you know. And I wonder if was that because I used the DMT on top of the cannabis, that I tapped into the spirit of cannabis, you know what I mean? Because again, everything has a spirit, has a conscious. So I tapped into a spirit of cannabis by putting the DMT on top of that. I wonder if that's what was the case. But either way, these individuals were just like it was almost like this light that was that I was walking down the straight hallway, and it was like brighter down that way, and I felt like they would want me to stay. You know what I mean? That they wouldn't want me to leave, and that's when I opened up my eyes. You know, and so the DMT activates the part of you that dreams. And so if you're doing it and you're awake and that's activated, everything becomes animated. The just like the psilocybin, like the patterns in the floor and stuff. You know, I did it one time, and I wasn't trying to awake at this time when I was living in Miami. I was just experimenting and stuff. And so we smoked it one time and went to the club. And you know, like if you see like an oil stain in the street or something like that, even it could be even like gum on the sidewalk, how it gets black. Yo, everything had a tail, and it was like swimming, bro. It was moving. All the oil stains, everything that was a circle, it had a tail and was just like following us down the street. Yo, just moving and shifting with us, bro. Just it's wild stuff. And so again, I'm just kind of putting two and two together. Everything Everywhere All at Once spoke to me, because that took me, just watching that movie, it sent me mentally back into the shroom trip that I had, that I was talking about, where we had the breakthrough.
Yeah. And that's why.
And I was like, oh, that's why. Oh, that's
why I was saying.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying when I saw it. I'm like, oh, all these different connections.
Yeah, bro. So again, I think that we are powerful enough inside these bodies to detach from the body itself and move and go somewhere where you need to go. Again, another one too, like we were just meditating the other day at the house, and I was playing binaural beats. I forget what the frequency was. It was 5/8 something, maybe 5/8 or something like that. But it was just like beep for a whole hour, right? We're sitting in meditation, and I
best do it on.
That's what I hear too. Yeah. Some people there's actually even a whole thing you can put on your head that won't fall off while you sleep. They got the headphones in the side.
That's dope.
But yeah, people are deprogramming themselves like this, you know. And what I'm seeing now is that those binaural beats helps me to just focus, like I was talking about the candle earlier. They help me to focus on one thing or one thought, or if my mind drifts away from that one thought, then I can quickly bring it back because of this it's wild stuff. And I started to feel like I didn't have a body. Like I started to like almost as if I was like disappearing from my body. Does that make sense? Like, and not even just like my leg, because you know how the legs go down sometimes. not even just my legs going down. I'm talking about the upper half too, bro. It was just like as if I was like detaching from it. It was wild. It's wild. Yeah.
They say we were under light code lockdown.
Yeah, that's right.
Light code lockdown.
That's right. Dr. Phil Valentine speaks about light code lockdown. And we are just code, ones and zeros, but there's levels to this shit.
For real.
And we can break through with tremendous tools that we have. Sound is an incredible tool.
Yeah.
That's why they switched it up on us with the whole
frequency
808 music.
They changed.
I think somebody, it was some decades ago, centuries ago.
It was Hitler is his name.
Was it him?
Yeah, he changed the frequency of music from 444 to or from 432 to 444.
I heard somebody else. I gotta look into it.
Yeah, and then after that came the 808, and that's why you see people attracted to that in trap music. But yeah, they speak about. I know it's been spoken about Hitler doing experiments with sound, changing the frequency from the heart frequency, which is 432 hertz, which is the scale of the pyramid as well. To get back to pyramids, which is the dimensions of the pyramid and the dimensions of the world. 432,000, and you scale that by the number of I guess rungs on the pyramid or whatever. You get 432. So yeah, they change the frequency because it does something to our chakra. Our soul.
That's why numbers is just so like powerful and important. You know, when we really study numbers, numerology.
We got here today at 3:33.
Yeah, bro. And I was
no coincidence. We're having a high level conversation.
Exactly. And I know y'all probably don't believe in coincidence either.
No way.
Like everything just too aligned.
Yeah, yo, I used to be another fear that I had was math, right? And when I stepped on this path, I'm adding the numbers and doing the stuff in my head because I'm like, now it's like getting into numerology. It's allowing me to to be able to add the numbers or divide the numbers or multiply the numbers in my head, versus like I felt like I had to whip out the calculator all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's interesting that just seeing the code, seeing 1111, seeing 222 and stuff like that. It's like it's made this fear of math go away.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot that I want to just keep on, because like every time we break off and talk about something else, I'm like,
yeah.
But yeah, we gonna save it. Y'all lucky y'all got this last piece. For real. You know, a lot of information. Y'all want to overflow. Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
Appreciate you, man.
Same. Gratitude, my man. For real.
Much gratitude.
Gratitude, brother.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, much love, man.
Yeah.
Peace to y'all. We out for sure this time.
Yeah, man.
All right.
We're building legacy, bro.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. We are the superheroes that are going to change. I'm sure you've seen Kyrie's awakening.
Right.
I mean, he's still got work to do because there's a lot of indoctrinations that need to be broken. But, yeah, we are the individuals who are the shakers and the movers. And it might look small, but it's huge. Yo. What you're doing is a part of the web of life. I mean, everything that you touch, bro, is affecting the Akashic record. Mm-hmm. It's happening in the Akashic record. Mm-hmm. So these words that we're speaking right now will be affecting the ethers in St. Louis, because that's how it works. All of this is just like what we call structured water. Mm-hmm. Single geometry is structured water. Yeah. So me doing this is sending out a vibration all the way over there. We're breathing in the same air that are the trees in Forest Park. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's what we're doing now. And that's why it's so easy. You really begin to trust these birds. They get it. Yeah. These animals, they get it. They're in complete trust. Not in themselves. Mm-hmm. A duck knows that it's floating because it trusts itself. It trusts to keep those legs floating. Yeah. It's trusting in itself because it knows that itself is the I am. Right? Air like this is because that download is now above their chakra. That chakra that these connect your senses to. Those two chakras that are outside of your body. And so to keep that energy, they tie their hair up. If you don't have enough hair, then you wrap your hair with something like this. After your meditation, you want to tie your hair up or cover your head to hold in that information, hold in that download, in that ether. Lock it in your ether. That's what locks are for. You're now locking in what your ether has received from your environment, your meditation, your food, all that. Now it's locked in. Yeah. And it grows from there. Yeah, man, you're supposed to existence, my man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's time.
Yeah, it's about to take off from here, man.
Yeah.
No coincidence that I had a breakthrough. Because me and him have been trying to plan this for a while.